Human beings are creatures of memory, emotion, instinct, and learned behavior. We like to believe we make rational choices, that we choose partners because they feel right, that we walk into relationships or friendships because of compatibility, chemistry, or fate. But the truth is far more psychological and far more unconscious. Many of the choices we make, especially the painful ones, come from patterns created long before we had the awareness or power to avoid them. One of the most common patterns human beings fall into is repeating toxic cycles, choosing the same kind of partner, reacting the same way during conflict, accepting the same treatment, falling for the same emotional dynamic, or recreating the same wounds we once tried to escape from. To understand why, we must go back to where patterns begin. Patterns do not begin in adulthood. They do not begin the moment you meet someone who treats you poorly, nor do they begin because you consciously choose toxicity. Patterns begin in childhood. In the emotional environment you grew up in, the stability or instability you knew, the love you received or were denied, the expectations placed upon you, and the way your caregivers responded to your needs. As children, we learn what love feels like not through words, but through experiences. If love was consistent, warm, and safe, we learned that love is predictable and trustworthy. But if love was inconsistent, conditional, overwhelming, distant, or painful, we learn something entirely different. A child who grows up in an emotionally chaotic environment learns that chaos is normal. A child who experiences neglect learns that silence is normal. A child who receives attention only when performing learns that love must be earned. A child who experiences fear or instability learns that tension is natural. The mind internalizes these patterns as home. Not the healthy definition of home, but the familiar one. And familiarity is one of the strongest psychological forces in human behavior. The nervous system is designed to keep us safe by recognizing patterns. If a situation feels familiar, the brain assumes it is survivable, even if it is harmful. This is why so many people unconsciously seek out the same dynamics they grew up with. You don't repeat toxic patterns because you want the pain. You repeat toxic patterns because they feel familiar. Familiarity creates a false sense of comfort. Someone who grew up around emotionally unavailable caregivers may gravitate toward emotionally unavailable partners because their nervous system recognizes the distance. Someone raised in inconsistency may mistake chaotic love for passion. Someone who learned early to suppress emotions may be drawn to partners who also avoid vulnerability. We repeat what we recognize. We return to what feels like home, even if that home is hurting us. Inside every adult is an inner child who remembers everything. Every wound, every unmet need, every moment of longing, every small heartbreak that happened before the mind could even form language. This inner child wants something desperately, to finally receive the love they didn't get. So the adult continues choosing people who resemble old wounds, believing that maybe this time they can fix what they couldn't fix in childhood. Maybe this time the unavailable parent will be replaced by a partner who suddenly becomes present. Maybe this time the unpredictable caregiver will be replaced by someone whose chaos finally settles. Maybe this time love will give the peace it never gave before. This is called repetition compulsion, the psychological urge to relive old wounds in the hope of rewriting them. But toxic people rarely give us a different ending. To understand toxic repetition, we need to understand the brain. The brain is not designed for happiness, it is designed for survival. Anything that feels predictable is considered safe, even if it causes emotional harm. The brain would rather choose a familiar pain than an unfamiliar peace. For someone raised in emotional instability, stability feels foreign, even threatening. For someone raised in silence and neglect, healthy communication feels overwhelming. For someone raised in chaos, calm feels uncomfortable. For someone raised around explosive anger, kindness feels suspicious. This is why healthy partners often feel boring or off to people with attachment wounds. Not because healthy is boring, but because healthy is unfamiliar. Your brain has been trained to recognize love through the lens of what you experienced, not what you needed. Toxic patterns are also deeply connected to self-worth. A person who grew up feeling unseen may unconsciously choose partners who keep them invisible. A child who learned to earn love may choose partners who require endless proving. A child who internalized criticism may choose partners who confirm that belief. If deep inside you believe you are not worthy of unconditional love, you might choose people who reflect that belief. If deep inside you believe your needs are too much, You will choose partners who make you feel like they are. If deep inside you believe love requires suffering, you will tolerate suffering in the name of love. Toxic patterns are often evidence of what we believe we deserve. When trauma goes unhealed, it becomes a silent architect of our choices. Trauma wires the nervous system for hypervigilance, fear, attachment issues, avoidance behaviors, and emotionally reactive patterns. Trauma shapes the kind of people we are drawn to and the kinds of behaviors we accept. We cannot heal what we don't acknowledge. Until trauma is processed, the past keeps choosing for us. Sometimes people repeat toxic patterns because they have not yet learned what healthy love looks or feels like. They don't know how to recognize emotional safety. They don't know how to trust stillness. They don't know how to accept love without anticipating loss. Trauma creates a lens. We see love through that lens until we change it. When your nervous system is conditioned to instability, the body mistakes emotional intensity for connection. High highs and low lows feel like passion. Anxiety feels like attachment. Hypervigilance feels like love. The body becomes addicted to the chemicals released during conflict, reconciliation, and unpredictability. This is why many people describe toxic love as intense, magnetic, or impossible to leave. It's not fate, it's dysregulation. Your body is trying to recreate the emotional landscape it became wired to survive. Breaking toxic patterns requires rewiring the nervous system, learning safety, calm, and consistency even when they feel unfamiliar. Why we don't leave toxic patterns so easily. There are several psychological reasons why leaving a familiar toxic pattern is so hard. 1. Emotional bonding through pain. Pain can create deep emotional bonds, especially when mixed with moments of affection. The cycle of hurt and comfort creates a trauma bond that feels like attachment. 2. Hope for change. People often stay because they believe the person will change, or because they need them to change to rewrite old wounds. 3. Fear of the unknown. The mind fears the unfamiliar. Healing requires entering emotional spaces the person has never known. 4. Learned helplessness. Some people grow up believing they cannot change their circumstances. This belief carries into adulthood, making them feel stuck. 5. Internalized guilt or responsibility. Many people believe it is their job to fix, heal, or save others. This is especially common in those who were parentified as children. 6. Shame. People may stay because leaving means confronting the truth about the relationship, their wounds, and their past. Understanding these reasons is not about blaming yourself, it is about recognizing why breaking free is so hard. How to break toxic patterns. Breaking toxic cycles is not about willpower, it is about awareness, healing, and reconditioning the mind and body. 1. Awareness of the pattern. You cannot change what you cannot see. Noticing the pattern is the first step toward choosing differently. 2. Inner child work. Your younger self still lives inside you. Healing begins when you give that child what they never received: safety, love, boundaries, validation, patience, and attention. 3. Rewriting core beliefs. Many toxic patterns come from beliefs like, I am not enough, I have to earn love, people always leave, love is pain. Healing requires replacing these with healthier truths. 4. Nervous system regulation. Learning calmness through breathwork, grounding, mindfulness, or therapy helps your body break the addiction to emotional chaos. 5. Choosing differently slowly. Healthy love might feel strange at first. Your job is not to feel instantly comfortable. Your job is to stay present long enough to let your body learn it is safe. 6. Seeking healthy relationships and boundaries. Healthy relationships help rewire the brain. Consistency, kindness, emotional availability, and respect create new patterns. Healing does not mean perfection. You will not wake up one day magically healed. Healing is learning to pause before repeating the old pattern. Healing is noticing the red flag instead of rationalizing it. Healing is choosing someone who respects you instead of someone who excites your wounds. Healing is walking away sooner. Healing is listening to your body. Healing is giving yourself love you once begged others for. Progress is not about never slipping back. It is about recognizing when you are slipping and choosing differently. When you heal toxic patterns, everything changes. Your taste changes. Your boundaries change. Your expectations change. Your self-worth strengthens. Your nervous system calms. Your relationships become healthier. And for the first time, love begins to feel safe. Healing toxic patterns is not the end of a story. It is the beginning of a new one. It is the moment you stop repeating the childhood script and start writing your own. You stop living in emotional survival mode. You stop chasing the past in new faces. You stop mistaking intensity for intimacy. You begin choosing connections that align with your healed self, not your wounded one. And little by little, the patterns that once controlled your life loosen their grip. You begin to recognize toxic behaviors not as normal, but as unacceptable. You begin to feel safe in the presence of respect. You begin to trust stability instead of running from it. You can break the pattern. You repeat toxic patterns not because you're weak, not because you're broken, not because you're blind, but because you learned these patterns during the years when you had no choice. They became part of your emotional foundation. But patterns can be unlearned. Brains can be rewired. Hearts can be healed. And you can choose differently. You are not doomed to repeat your pain. With awareness, healing, and compassion for yourself, you can create a life where love is not a battlefield, but a safe place to rest. Your story can change. Your patterns can change. And so can the way you are loved.